And good afternoon, everybody. This is Dr. John Michael Salvato, your organic living and peak performance coach. And this is the Mindshift Mastery Program, our 200-day mentoring and mental shift course that we're taking together. Today is day 27, and the material is actually day 27 and day 28 for the program. And today, yesterday, we talked a little bit about the fact that the first thing we need to do in order to address our relationship with money is to look at what our relationship to money actually is and what do we think about money, what are our beliefs surrounding money. Today, and then we also talked about the fact that we have to understand that money, like everything else in the universe, is energy. And so that changes, that's right there was a mental shift in our relationship toward money because we began to look at money a little bit differently. And today we're going to take that next step. And the next step begins with something called the law of equivalent exchange. And that the law of equivalent exchange, sometimes called the first law of alchemy, it says that in order to obtain something, something of equal or greater value must be exchanged, must be given up. And so what that means is that we recognize that in this world, it's a give and take. In this world, in order to obtain something, we have to give something first. It's what makes us servant leaders in the marketplace. Because servant leadership doesn't seek new customers for our products. Servant leadership, I gotta, servant leadership doesn't look for new customers for our products. Servant leadership looks for products for our customers, for the people that we have relationships with. And so the law of equivalent exchange says go out there and serve, go out there and give, and when you give, that's when you open yourself up to receive in return. And so that's the next step in fixing your relationship to money or healing your relationship to money, if you want, is just getting out there and doing what I've seen so many of you already start to do, and that's just to begin to serve, to find ways that you can add value to people's lives, and that's the next step is adding value in anything that you do. Somebody once said that the now familiar adage that in order to do something, in order to do something well, or the only job worth doing is a job done well. That's all about adding value. And so whatever it is that you're undertaking, whether it's a new project, whether it's an existing project or a passion that you have, whether it's a program that somebody else has asked you to help on, if you focus on delivering value, then you're automatically creating a shift in your own energetic bank balance that we talked about yesterday, so that you become more attractive. And when you're more attractive, people say this, the law of attraction, excuse me, is all about, wishing for the things that you want or thinking about the things you want and attracting them. That's not how it works. How it works is that you become a more attractive person. You raise your vibrational frequency so that that frequency, like all frequencies in the universe, will attract like frequencies. And so when you're a more attractive person, those people who have the money to spend, who are looking for the products that you have, who want to engage with people who are attractive, are going to be brought into your circle. And I can't think of, excuse me, a better way to find customers, to find business partners, to find relationships with people that are going to become lifelong friends, than to just focus on becoming a better person, bringing value to the marketplace, and at the same time making sure that you're aware that in order to obtain something, you have to give something first. I mean, it's just one of those kind of life-changing mindsets that when you take it outside of the business world and outside of money, and you bring it to your personal relationship, you bring it to your health, you bring it to your spirituality, you bring it to your community relationship, it just kind of changes everything, and it makes life so much less stressful. It's not to say that there aren't times in my own life that there aren't times that health issues don't move to the forefront, because we've got that six dimensions of wellness. But when health issues move to the forefront, we recognize, or I recognize, that I've got to be willing to give first. I've got to be willing to serve in order to receive. And so when I'm sitting there in the emergency room, I find ways to try and make the nurses smile or laugh, to try and put the doctors at ease. And then I listen to what's going on in the emergency department, and if I hear somebody giving them a hard time, I'll kid with the caregivers about, wow, sounds like that person's having a bad day, and it seems like a minor thing. It seems like it'd be a small thing, but when you're giving, the quality of care that you receive is better. When you're in a relationship, if you want your partner to become more attentive, try becoming more attentive to your partner. If you want your kids to listen better, try listening more to your kids. This law of equivalent exchange works in all areas of our lives. And in order for you to increase your income, excuse me, Jim Rohn would say increase your value in the marketplace. And the fact that each one of you are sitting in and watching this class, and those who are watching the replay are watching this class, is an assurance that you're focused on creating value and increasing your value in the marketplace. So I want you guys to recognize your participation in this program increases your value in the marketplace, and you might not see it, but I see the difference in you guys every single day. Excuse me. I see it when you're on Facebook. I see it when you show up here. I see it in your level of participation. I see it just in the sort of the countenance, if you will, the energy that you bring when you're there in front of the camera. You're actually bringing greater value every day because you're becoming more valuable. Your vibrational frequency increases, your effectiveness in the marketplace increases, and you're becoming more aware, more mindful of the opportunities to be servant leaders. So let's go ahead and you guys can unmute if you're in a if you want to share something, and then remute if you're in a noisier background, and share both what yesterday meant as you thought about it some more. And you can see, hopefully you can see today why I'm not doing the morning videos, because these little nuggets about money are really short and sweet. And if I'd done a video in the morning, I'd just be repeating myself in the afternoon, and it may not give you the same impact of the aha moment as when we're sitting here and energetically we're combining our resources. So that energetic bank balance, that you have your personal one, and you have the community bank balance, and so that energy right now is really focused on those aha moments. So what do you guys think? Share with me a little bit about what yesterday meant for you as you began to apply it, and what do you think about this idea of the law of equivalent of exchange? In order to gain something, you have to give something first.
For me, with the law of equivalent exchange, honestly, first thing that pops in my head are the Ulrich brothers. But
I knew there had to be another geek here somewhere.
Oh my gosh! When I told my husband that you watch FMA, he was like, "Really? That's so cool." But one of the big things that I try to enforce with my family before holidays, birthdays, any of those is, you need to make room for that which is going to come in. Because if you don't give something away, get rid of that which doesn't serve you, where are you going to put the new stuff? Where are you don't have a place for any of it now. Get rid of it so it does. And that's been a huge thing. When we wanted to get a car, we had a car. It was sitting on blocks in the driveway. We had to get rid of that. And then a great opportunity came for us to get a car. And it's that balance that's, for some people, very elusive, but you've got to think, what's it worth to you? Most people, they balance good Lord, I'll get there eventually. They give their time for money. An hour is worth, what, $12, $15, some people $8. It depends. So there's that exchange there. Does it make sense?
Yep, absolutely. Now share with folks, if you would, because we've shared on some of the previous sessions the changes that are taking place in your life. You shared on your blog some of the decisions you've made in your life, but there's something going on behind the scenes that you're doing in your house that's actually preparing and clearing the way for you to have all of these changes take place in your life. And I'm sure you've thought about it as you've been doing it, but tell everybody what you're doing, like with 15 minutes a day, for example, in the kitchen underneath the sink.
Oh yeah. If you guys don't know who Fly is, she is an incredible lady who, most of these organizational guru people are, you've got to start from day one and you've got to do everything in a week. And her philosophy is you can do anything in 15 minutes. 15 minutes is all it takes to be able to, get rid of the clutter that is the mail pile that's on your dining room table. Underneath your sink. I refuse to go underneath my sink. There's very good reasons why. But you can do anything in 15 minutes. And that goes so much farther into, can you sit down and message people? How many people can you message in 15 minutes? How many people can you start conversations with in 15 minutes? Can you read an article? Can you meditate? Can you take a walk for 15 minutes? So I've been doing that kind of thing. In fact, the reason I sound out of breath, I'm actually pacing my house right now as we're on the calls, because it's like, you know what? I can make time to be able to exercise. Mm-hmm. Yesterday I did 3 miles walking back and forth through my house while on the call. And it's just that concept of, if you really want it, you got to make room for it. You can do anything, and you don't have to start at the beginning. You can jump in where you are. And I love Fly Lady so much, because I could just imagine what my house would look like without her.
Well, it's not just your house. It's that you're clearing out space and energy, and you're raising the vibration of the house by getting rid of that clutter. I did that with my email inboxes when my computer decided to shit the bed. I decided, hey, with this new device, I have an opportunity to start from scratch, and I have 10 email accounts that get an average of 100 to 150, sometimes 200 emails a day each. And you can imagine that there's just a bunch of unnecessary emails that end up in the inbox. There are some emails that I'm the equivalent, I think, of a hoarder when it comes to email. I don't like clutter in my house, but my inbox, I'll say, oh, I might need that sometime, so I'm going to save that. I might need that sometime, I'm going to save that. And I, about 3 weeks ago, said, you know what, you're just as bad as a cat lady, with these emails, because there's, the information age. If I need that information, I know who to ask for it from. And so I got rid of thousands and thousands of emails one afternoon. And the way that I approach it now is the way that Tim Ferriss recommends in the 4-Hour Work Week. So I have my little block of time in the morning that I'm going to do my business, and the emails that don't require my attention, the emails that are just tangentially interesting, the emails that don't add value to me, I get rid of them. And by opening up that space in my email box, mentally, I'm letting the universe know that there's space for more business to come in, that there's space for more dialogue to happen. And so it has. In the past week, I've begun to get more business email, more conversations with people who are looking for what I have to offer, because I don't have all this clutter. I don't have all of these things that I'm telling the universe by saving them. My attention needs to one day go to this area, to this one website, to this membership site, to this. I got rid of all of that clutter, all of that junk, and it's nice to go into your inbox now. And instead of it saying, your Gmail account has 745 unread messages because you just moved a bunch of those messages, over the years into a folder to save them in case you need them someday, to go in there now and it says you have 11 messages, you have 27 messages. and to say, hey, by the end of the week, that number is going to be 0. I'm going to be at inbox 0 on Friday afternoon, and we start fresh the next week. So somebody else, thank you for sharing that, Jen, because I think that's one of the reasons you're starting to see these epiphanies, if you will, happen in your life, because there's less clutter. Less clutter means less things to distract and take you away from moving forward, and it opens up the door for you to find new opportunities to serve. So Ita or Natasha, and you guys want to share anything? You have to unmute. Unmute, Ita. You're still muted, Ita. If you move, let me see if I can do it from this end. Not letting me unmute you.
Hey,
There
can you
you
hear
go.
me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Hi. Sorry, all the photos are in on covering over the mute button on the phone. Sorry about that. Um, yes, it was interesting listening to today as well because, well, one thing that jumped out at me there was when you said about looking for ways to serve, because in the majority of businesses that I've been in, which have been a few, they all sort of say, oh, you have to learn to become a leader. And even when I was in the secular world, it was you had to build leadership qualities, which wasn't whoever actually really succeeded in management and leadership in the secular world. Because of that, I was striving to be in charge, to be the boss. And when you actually said today about looking for ways to serve people and to bring, what did I write down here? Yeah, that you'll be able to attract good things into your life and add value to anything that you bring to people. I was like, oh, okay. That just did jump out at me, about that we're not really here to be leading people, and you have said it before about being a servant to the people and bringing some value to the people, that they will want to be coming back to you all the time. So I did enjoy that and look forward to exploring more of that as well. And of course, what Jen and yourself are discussing now, it actually sounds a lot like Feng Shui,
Right.
which I read a book years ago about Feng Shui, but it's quite difficult in the actual house I'm in because my house is north facing, it's not south facing. So it was like, okay, I just give up on Feng Shui at that stage, because if your house is north facing, that's very, very, very bad. So hopefully in the future we will get a south facing house. But yeah, it's very interesting, the things. And I do follow Fly Lady as well. So yeah, it's just interesting when Jen brought out a few of those points that are good for the house as well. So looking forward to bringing all these 15-minute nuggets into my business life and my house as well.
Right on. Well, and I just want to acknowledge Natasha shared that she has no mic, but she's been getting rid of clutter in her emails and with personal things, cleaning out friends lists and such today. And she focused on her autoresponder, building her list, and for one of her strengths. And so congratulations on that, Natasha, because that does, we a lot of times we think about the things that we can do in our in our house to remove clutter, but we don't really focus on what we could do in our business. And for me, I've always been inspired by some of the great teachers that have made all the difference in my life. Like the great Palestinian Dharma teacher and master, Rabbi Jesus or Buddha. And these were people who we undeniably would look at as tremendous leaders. Gandhi, Dr. Martin Luther King, uh, terrific leaders. But if you look at what made them terrific leaders, at the end of the day, it was service. It was that they gave their lives to the focus of serving other people. You look at people like Mary Kay Ash, who was such an amazing entrepreneur. and certainly qualified to be considered a business leader. But her entire focus of her business was serving other women, to bring a smile to their face and to empower them, to let them know that they matter. Like I've seen, so many of you do, especially Jen does it on her videos with such passion, to just let somebody know that if nobody else tells you today that they love you, know that I love you. And that really is something that is important to me. That's something that drives me to do this program, because initially the people that were drawn into this program, there were some broken people, and they were people who weren't being told very often that they had value in the marketplace. They were being beaten up, they were being berated, and put down in the groups that they were associated with. And so I immediately felt like there was a void that I could fill there by letting people know that the very fact that they participate in things like this means that they are of tremendous value to the world around us. My spiritual teacher, my guru, said, there are no throwaway people. And so I try to make every single day about letting people that come across my path know that they are not throwaway people. Know that they're loved. Know that they're valued, and know that they really matter, and that I'm grateful for having had them cross paths with me in this world. So there's not a lot of topical discussion that's needed for today's mind shift, and it worked out really well. I actually juggled a couple of things around to bring these points up first, so that tomorrow, what I really want to challenge everybody to do, since I will not be able to be here at 2 o'clock, I've got doctor's appointments, and I'm actually picking up the new computer. So tomorrow, instead of our session, at 2 o'clock Eastern Time, why not take some time going through your inbox on your emails, get rid of clutter there, go through your friends list on Facebook, get rid of the people that you don't engage with there, and then spend 15 minutes going through your house with a trash bag in your hand. And I'm going to tell you guys a story about what my therapist did for me when I lived in Atlanta. Excuse me, right before I moved to Pennsylvania. So this is 8 years ago. And the therapist understood that I'm high-functioning autistic, and understood that one of the triggers that caused me to have extreme anxiety was clutter in my life, but an even bigger trigger was getting rid of things. And so I was a technology hoarder, and I was an office supply hoarder. So I didn't have like newspapers piled up everywhere, but I couldn't go to Staples and walk past a shelf that had paper clips on sale without buying a box of those paper clips, so that I would never run out of paper clips. And that's kind of absurd, because I had thousands of paper clips. So the therapist said, okay, here's what we're going to do. You need to get all of that stuff out of your house, and whatever you can't give to Goodwill, or give to the Salvation Army, or give to whatever, an organization that will repurpose those things, needs to go in the trash. And so I have all of these computer parts from computers over the years. I had memory that would never be used again. I had a zip drive, for those who are a little techno geekish, which wasn't going to be used again. I had floppy disk drives, and so he said, throw those away. So I put them in a trash bag, and I put them out by the dumpster. And the therapist said, no, that isn't going to work. I want you to open the trash bag, and I want you to dump them in the dumpster. Because he knew that the one thing I would never do is dig through real garbage. That I have, a major aversion to germs, and so that if there were, garbage germs all over those zip drives and everything else, I wasn't going to go back in there when he left and pick that stuff out. So I recommend that you take a trash bag, go through your house, and anything that's clutter, anything that you haven't used in 6 months, if it's something that can be given to someone else, then put it in a separate pile in a box, and at the end of the day tomorrow, drop it off at a local charity where somebody can use that, a school, an orphanage, Goodwill, or something like that. If it's something that just has absolutely little to no value whatsoever, it's just clutter. Throw it away, and then take it out to the nearest dumpster and dump it in that place so that you don't do it. Because here's what happens: if a man lives in a house and has a broken down couch, and he has a table that has a wobbly leg, and a chair that wobbles as well, he may decide that, in order to make space in my house for new to come in, I need to put this table and this broken down couch and this chair out by the curb for the garbage disposal to come pick it up. But he'll come home from work that night and there won't be a place to sit. So he may bring that rickety chair back in. And then he needs to have dinner and there isn't a table, so he may bring that broken table back in. And at the end of dinner, he's going to want to watch some television. So before you know it, he's dragged that broken down couch back in. And now those things that he'd gotten rid of in his life are back in his house. So in order for us to make changes, tomorrow I challenge you to make some permanent changes. Small, little 15-minute changes that just open up a little bit of space in your world, so that by the end of the week, we can talk about the things that have begun to start coming into your life. I want to take a look at what Natasha said here. Let's see. The value I want to eventually bring to people is giving families a place where their kids can have fun and be safe. My vision is to build a gymnastics center and teach all ages what I know and help build their confidence and character. That's amazing. That's awesome. And that's another great example of bringing value. So think about that, and let's make that the final part of your homework assignment, if you will, for tomorrow, is to just think about what you want to do in your life, and don't frame it in terms of your business. If you're, for example, let's say you were with Herbalife, don't say I want to become a presidential team member and I want to have 10,000 people in my group. Tell me what you actually want to do to serve others. And it could very well be within the context of your company. It could very well be within the context of what you bring to the marketplace. But focus on what you're doing for others. Focus on how you're going to serve others. Maybe your business is a skincare company and you want to empower women to feel good about themselves. Maybe you're with a telecom company and you want to be able to empower people to have the financial resources to be able to put their kids through college and to be able to retire without fear of not having enough money to live in their senior years. So think about that, and we'll share those when we come together on Thursday. And as I said earlier, I do love and appreciate every single one of you. You do bring value to my life, and hopefully I can bring some small value to yours. I'm grateful for each one of you that are on this journey with us together, for your participation in the blog and in the Facebook group, and sorry for the crazy technical issues today, but I will get the blog, I will get this posted on our blog later for those who couldn't watch live or who got here late, and we'll see all of you guys on Thursday. So stay in the moment, be grateful for what you've got, and always remember the best is yet to come. Take care, everybody.